tell us your name, the organization you are coming from, and thereafter you ask your question. You are entitled to only one question so that we give as many people as possible opportunities to ask questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have received a number of questions from the social media, and we'll start by reading them out to the honorable ministers before we get back to the audience. The questions that are with me for the honorable minister of water resources are as follows. Honorable Minister, since the last presidential summit on water, what has your ministry done to implement some of the recommendations after that summit? This question is coming from one Mr. Frank Malam from Kaduna. Another one goes this way. How does your ministry complement the efforts of state governments on rural water supply? Ima Godwin is asking this question from Enugu. Then another one says, Honorable Minister of Water Resources, what is your ministry doing on the indiscriminate drilling of boreholes in Nigeria? Abu Umar from Abuja here is asking that question. And then from one Akato from Makodi, Benue State, he's wanting to know, why do you think river basin development authorities should not be privatized as some people are clamoring for? Another one from Veronica Chinyene Umahia. She's saying, what is the government doing to improve on water coverage in this country? Then from Isa Babayaro from Kano, he's asking the Minister of Water Resources to please update this nation on the issue of transfer of water to the Lake Chad. And still, for Water Resources Minister, Akiola Alex from Abuja here, and I think he says he's in this hall. He says he wants to know that he has seen you displaying sugar outside the premises in an exhibition here at the National Press Center. He wants to know, what is your relationship with sugar? Then for the Minister of Water Resources, I'm sorry, Minister of Science and Technology. Honorable Minister, sir, Yaya Jega from Jigawa State said that your ministry has so far sent into orbit 5 satellites. He wants to know, what benefits has this been to Nigeria? And from Suleiman Biasang from Kano, he said, your ministry, what is your ministry doing to augment power supply in Nigeria, since you've been talking of solar power improvement? From Clifford Ebwa, Lagos State, he said, we have been hearing you talking about word cluster concept. How can this be useful in the development of this country, sir? He wants an answer from you. And from Rasaki Owolabi, Ogun State, Mr. Owolabi said, sir, can you brief Nigerians about the concept of the Science Park, which we hear you talk regularly and passionately about in this country? Please give us details. And finally, from my own side, Samson Komolafe from Kogi State is asking, what is the roadmap designed by your ministry for development of Nigeria by year 2020? I will now call on Yaya Umar to please come forward and read out his own part of the questions. Yaya.
Let me quickly take the one that is not in that series. From Catherine Chizarro in Cuba via email. Honorable Minister of Information, could you open the doors for international and local companies to advertise on your platform? Then this one is here in the hall by Mazi Chidike Okon, Naya Africa, Abuja. For the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, is it true, according to environmental experts, that indiscriminate sinking of boreholes across the nation's villages portends danger to the soil? If yes, what are you doing in collaboration with others to ensure that rural water supply and mini water works are in place and working? 2, Adani River Irrigation Dam has broken down for the past 2 years, and as a consequence, the facility no longer serves the water needs of Adariche Farm, this is a farm settlement in Uzowani, Enugu State. Madam, what is your ministry doing to fix this facility and alleviate the suffering of the graduate youth rice farmers who are working in the expansive farm settlement? Thank you, and God bless. Let me go abroad again. Stream from Natasha Okon Lira in Tanzania via email. Honorable Minister of Water Resources, how current is Nigeria's digitalization of water purification process? From Kweku in Ashanti, Ghana, via Facebook. Minister of Water Resources, how feasible is Nigeria in achieving the MDG in water supply? From Charles Chikeze in Karu, Abuja, water is about the most essential ingredient of life after air. Neglect of it means yielding ourselves to terrible aftermaths. What are the irreversible actions you intend to in place as legacies for which you will be remembered after your tenure? Still on the water resources sector, SMS. Grateful if the Honorable Minister of Water Resources will tell us what is happening to the multi-billion naira abandoned Gindiri water project. Thank you, Alhaji Abubakar. Another SMS message here. Greater Water Resources Minister, greetings to you. Madam, please, why would water not be free like in the educational sector where education is free for all? Did your ministry buy water from God? By John Akaine in Mina, Niger State. This one is from Chief Eric Obi in Owerri. I would want the Honorable Minister for Water Resources to come to the help of the people of Ogu in Ikeduru local government area of Imo State. We have no pipe-borne water, no dam, neither do we have any source of drinking water in the area. The people here rely on the only stream here, known as Ekeonu Miri River, for our water needs, and consequences are heavy on the people. Please help us from all these waterborne diseases menacing our people. Thank you. This one says, my name is Somto Chukwe. This is Chukwe Keze from Kano. My question is to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, how has your ministry affected the southeast zone of the country? How many boreholes have you built or rehabilitated, if any? Where? From Ogwanyi Kenneth in Adokaru, local government area, Nasarawa State. Good morning to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources. Please, I want to know your plan on rural water scheme. Minister, we have rivers in every nooks and crannies of this country, but we don't have safe drinking water in our rural areas. Typhoid and diarrhea are the order of the day in localities due to unsafe drinking water. Please help us. This one is from, just a question. We want to know the extent of MDG attainment of water by 2015. Now, On job creation to science, this one should be the Science and Technology Ministry now. On job creation to the Science and Technology Minister, 50 engineering graduates were trained as graduate engineers at Scientific Equipment Development Institute, sponsored by the federal government, where a lot of government fund was involved. These engineers, after training, were not even employed by NASENI or even the institute. My questions: what will happen to the graduates of this institute? 2, what follows up does the ministry put in place to monitor activities of its agencies? Still on science and technology, the Minister of Science and Technology, during his speech at the ministerial platform, made mention of Nigerians that were sponsored on training in ICT courses in China, Canada, and so on. Please, what is the criteria for participating in such trainings, and when is the next training coming up? From Michael Chuks Edozie. If Peter is there, let's take over from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Yaya Umar. Quickly, may I just recognize the presence of the Executive Vice Chairman, CEO, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Engineer Dr. M.S. Haruna. I'm sure a lot of the equipment here are coming from his agency. So you're most welcome. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open for questions. Okay. Just one question.
Honorable Minister, sir, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite overwhelmed by the account. My name is Pastor Jason Ward, Chief Executive Jason Ward, Company Limited, National President, Youth Organization for Unity and Total Harmony of Society. Now, the Honorable Ministers have simply awed me. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to put our hands together for Mr. President one more time. You see, a lot of our skeptics are there watching, so that's why I'm making this point. My question goes to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources. Your accomplishment in the basins is simply amazing, simply awesome. So, now my question is, water is not just a resource. It contains resources. Fishes, lobsters, periwinkles, and all sorts. And we are to invest in those basins for agribusiness. And how can you assist us? How can you assist us to troll our shoreline for the abundant seafood that is wasting away? Please explain.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Thank you. Yeah. My name is Bonnie Alams. I write from African Science and Technology Digest magazine. My question goes to, first, the Minister of Water Resources. In your presentation, you mentioned that you apply communication strategy promoting the activities of your ministry. I appreciate that. It's quite commendable. But my concern is, I want to find out from you what your ministry is doing in the area of transfer of technology in construction and management of dams. What is your ministry doing, especially in building the capacity of Nigerians to fully take in charge of these dams? Because I believe that most of the dams are being constructed by foreign expatriates. What's your ministry doing in the area of transfer of technology? Secondly, please, science and technology. I agree with you totally. In civil occasions in the past, you promised that you like to work with the Minister of Science and Technology, especially in the area of popularizing research and development. I don't know how far you've gone with that, because as a stakeholder, I believe that apart from funding, the problem the Ministry of the Science and Technology sector is having is low awareness. There is no proper or effective communication strategy. So I would like to know what, have you fulfilled that promise? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The farmer, please.
My name is Muhammad Ladan. I'm a farmer. My question goes to the Honorable Minister, Water Resources. In fact, all the things we need have been provided, and we have also achieved the government goal, that is to feed the nation. We have made abundance production of food, crops, and vegetables. But we want to ask the government or the government officials, what are they doing? What are they doing for the surplus food which we provide? Because we have a problem of selling our food at a giveaway price. And sometimes the vegetables, for instance, tomatoes and watermelons, we just throw them away, they are destroyed because no good price. So what are the steps the Minister of Water Resources is doing to save us, we farmers, in this aspect? Thank you.
Okay, next.
All protocols duly observed. I'm Edna Olaito from PGT Groups. Edna Bill Olaito from Paysetters Global Technology. From your excellent presentation, Ma, we can all see that you're really working, and we would like to commend you on that. But we want to also suggest or recommend more publicity on your work done, so we Nigerians can also see effects or possible implementations of this agenda, because most of us may not really know that you're working set for occasions like this. And we also want to know, Ma, we also want to know, your good office is in charge of water generation, and we also know that you're partnering with other tiers of government, like you earlier on said, the state, the local government. And we want to know what system you have put in place to work on this water generation in case of lapses, is knowing that this would hinder your progress or your office in government, to impede your performances, and how far you have gone in this distribution to various homes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next.
My name is Obede Mike. I'm from Abu Salih University. I have just one question for the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. We all know that science is different from technology in different respects. While technology is based on patent and blueprint, science is based on thinking. So we, the Nigerian University, the students, we know what we are doing in terms of thinking. So how do you intend to integrate us into your program, into your ICT-based program, or the Silicon Valley, as we so called it, in Nigeria? How do you intend to create a direct link between the thinkers of technology and those that will bring technology into reality? Thank you.
My name is Moses Wolabi. I'm the editor of Industry and Technology Review magazine. My interest is in the area of commercialization of all these products. First, I would like to commend the Science and Technology Ministry. The ministry is really doing fine. But something is still missing, and that is commercialization of these products. If you look around here, there are so many of them, but where are they today? They are still on the shelf. So how do we move from the shelf to the market? It has always been there. Now, I'm asking this question because I discovered that the ministry officials have not done much by way of interacting with the private sector. They have not, invited these people to come. Let me give you an example. I was there when they were launching the science and technology policy. The Manufacturer Association of Nigeria was not present. They had to use one government agency to represent the private sector. This is wrong. And secondly, how do you commercialize this new motorcycle? Before this one, there have been and development in Zaria. Nigerian made the Nigerians there. They made automotive engine. They made tricycle. They made vehicles, and we rode the vehicles to Lagos. Now the question
is, on time. Would you land, please? Please. Can there be only one meeting here, please? Okay, give him the mic, please.
Hello? Now, my concern is how do we move from this stage to the commercialization stage? Thank you very much.
Next.
My name is Magdalene Ukwedojo. I work with the news. My name is Magdalene Ukwedojo. I work with the News Agency of Nigeria. Nigeria has made many declarations, or is a signatory to many declarations. My question actually is to the Minister of Water Resources. And we have Sharm el-Sheikh, we have Ithukuni Declaration, we have Abuja Declaration, many things. Our GDP 0.5 to sanitation to water. What actually are we doing? Every year we sign these declarations and nothing is done. And then for the high-level meeting last year, the coordinating minister, okay, we have been signatory to many declarations. Sharm el-Sheikh, all of those. Sharm el-Sheikh, Ithukuni Declaration, Abuja Declaration, we're supposed to give funding, improved funding to water and sanitation. Now, none of them has been met. And then at the high-level meeting last year, the coordinating minister of the economy made many promises. We are going to improve funding for water. What has been done to that? I only know about the water kiosk program. And which of the states is the water kiosk program actually functioning for women and girls? Thank you.
My name is Shade Folari, also from the News Agency of Nigeria. My question is to the Minister of Water Resources. Now, the bill establishing the Nigeria Integrated Water Resources Management Commission has been passed by the National Assembly since 2011. Why hasn't it been signed into law? And then what are you doing to facilitate this? Also, how has this affected the water resource management situation in Nigeria? And finally, what is the current position of the UN Declaration on Water for All in Nigeria? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for your questions. With your kind permission now, would invite the Honorable Minister of Water Resources to please come forward and react to the questions raised in her areas of accomplishment. Honorable Minister of Water Resources.
Thank you, everybody, for your comments and also questions. We appreciate this feedback from you, and we'll try to also respond. I think the first person wanted to know what we're doing about the outcomes of the Presidential Summit on Water. A lot is being done. First, we have been engaged in discussions with the development partners on how they will support the processes that would lead to improved funding of the water sector. The World Bank is already procuring consultants that would assist the ministry. We are also discussing the MOU we signed with the ministry, with the Bank of Industry on funding of small water enterprises in various communities. We have also held discussion meetings with commissioners of water resources from the 36 states of the Federation on how we can pool resources together to develop the water sector, more so that the issue of domestic and municipal water supply is strictly the responsibility of state governments, but we would have to work with them. And I told you earlier in my presentation that the African Ministers' Council on Water have also adopted the Nigerian model. So a lot is going on that. On the issue of rural water supply, how are we complementing states? Well, we're working with the states. Whatever the federal government does as regards rural water supply, it's only an intervention. It's strictly the responsibility of the states and the local governments. And if you recall in my presentation, I mentioned the rehabilitation of boreholes that we're doing. I mentioned also some of the boreholes that we have constructed, the motorized boreholes. All these are interventions by the federal government to ensure that there's access to water supply in the rural areas. Again, I want to say that it's the responsibility of states and local governments to provide water for the populace. On the issue of indiscriminate drilling of boreholes, well, we have mounted a campaign on the issue of the boreholes. There's a National Association of Borehole Drillers. We have had an interface with them to discuss it, and we want Nigerians to know that it is not right for anybody to just wake up any day because he does not have access to water to begin to drill boreholes. I've had people say we cannot hand over the dams to the private sector completely because every country is controlling their water resources. If you give the private sector, it means that someday they will decide whether the people have the water or not. Secondly, the land also does not belong to the federal government. So we cannot take the farmer's land and just give to the private sector. But we can work. We can work with the private sector. We believe that many of the land area that has been developed for irrigation cannot be completely used by the locals. So the excess land, we can, with discussions with the local people, assign some of these on lease to private sector to develop so that they would also bring in their expertise to strengthen the skills and capacity of the local farmers. On the issue of the transfer of water to Lake Chad, I told you that a feasibility study has been undertaken and the report shows that the transfer is possible and we would need about $14.5 billion to implement that transfer process. The heads of states of the Lake Chad Basin Commission have been conferring with one another to convene a donor conference. They have started the preliminaries in Marseille, France last year. The chairman of the Council of the Summit of Heads of State convened a side event on the issue of raising funds to support the transfer of water. In Rio +20, our own president, alongside with the chairman of the Summit of Heads of State, also convened a side event to discuss the issue of raising funds to save the Lake Chad. Presently, arrangements are being made to convene the actual conference of donors, and our own former head of state, President Olusegun Obasanjo, has been appointed as one of the champions for that process. On the issue of why we have displayed sugar outside, what's the relationship of sugar, what's the relationship of Ministry of Water Resources to sugar? Well, the sugar that you see outside is produced at the Savannah Sugar Company. And the Ministry of Water Resources, through its river basin, the Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority, provides the water for the cultivation of the sugarcane that is now being processed into sugar. On the issue of the Adani irrigation project that is broken down, whatever the federal government is doing there is assistance to the state government. The project belongs to the state government, so it's not the federal government's responsibility, but we are working with them because we know the importance of that project to the communities in that area. On the issue of digitalizing the water processes and purification in Nigeria, I want to say that we are doing that. We are using the pulsator treatment process, and this is being done in the Owena water treatment plant. Is being used there. We are also using the ultraviolet and reverse osmosis process for the production of table water. So Nigeria is current on digitalization. On the issue of meeting the MDGs, well, we are working on that. You can see that we have moved from 58% coverage to 65%, and we hope that between now and 2015 that we'll be able to meet the MDGs if we all work together. The Gindri Water Project, well, I'm grateful to the person who raised it. I'm also very concerned about that project. The project has not been abandoned. The treatment plant has been completed. We, from the ministry, have even awarded a contract for the provision of water supply to the immediate community in Gindri. But there's a dam that needs to be constructed in Mangu, and the procurement processes are on. We believe that the construction work would start very soon. Let me see if there's something still outstanding. Sorry.
Please, let's put our hands together. Let's put our hands together for the Honorable Minister of Water Resources for those answers. May I now quickly invite the Honorable Minister of Science and Tech to please come forward and react to the questions that affect him. Honorable Minister, Science and Tech.
Yes, somebody from Jigawa asked of the benefits of satellite technology. You will agree with me that I don't need to repeat it again. I have started from security, management, and so forth. So those are the areas of application of satellite technology. The other one is band reservation for security purposes. You are now wanting me to go more into the details. For example, Nikon Sat-1 replacement has to keep a specific band of communication for the nation. Now, you cannot do this if it's not your own satellite. So let me leave the areas of security surveillance. And let me tell you, we are going into the synthetic aperture radar satellites. which will have more interesting applications for the country. But since that has not been launched, I may not be in a position to explain more on that. The augmentation of power supply in Nigeria. When you look at power supply, you have the national grid and perhaps a local grid. Now, what this ministry is doing is to improve the local grid. A typical example is the one we did in in Sokoto State, where we went to a village and rather than use the national grid, we brought in solar panels with solar batteries and solar inverters to tap or to harvest solar radiant energy for conversion into electricity. So our assistance is to allow a lesser burden on the national grid by trying to make the local grid almost all the answers on the world-based cluster program. It's based on the triple helix. You can actually see it there. Government and research institutes are going to the world level, the political world, where we'll have a skills acquisition center and we'll bring technologies there, train the people locally to become entrepreneurs, incubate technology there, and then leave them to use those technologies to develop their worlds. A typical example could be food security in terms of plantlet multiplication. While your local banana can actually have 2 or 3 sprouts, by what we call temporary immersion reactor system, you can have that same banana bring out about 15 sprouts. And so you can have food security there. Now there's more to it than that, and we have here a kind of a brochure that can actually assist you. Somebody talked about the Silicon Valley as a science park. Yes, we have actually circulated another brochure here called Shesco Silicon Valley. We may not have sufficient time. Right there, you can actually see everything about the Silicon Valley, its impact on society. The objectives are there. The technology transfer for national transformation is equally there. There was a question on commercialization of research products. That has been one of the biggest problems that we have within the African continent. The problem of this sector is that Nigerians are, sorry for me to use the word, most of us are selfish in the sense that we go out to procure, and because we are business entrepreneurs, we are sufficient and we are satisfied with our procurement. We leave Nigerians who have been trained to come in and pick these entrepreneurs and develop them. And so we have very, very good procurement laws. Now, except our local entrepreneurs come in and take up these researches that are lying on the shelf and then take them out to the market, there is nothing the scientists can do. The scientists have completed their job. They are there for entrepreneurs to pick up. Finally, what is the roadmap for development of Nigeria? That is an omnibus question. Roadmap for development in Nigeria. I can only say I have a 25-year roadmap for space technology. Thank you and God bless.
We thank, okay, the Water Resources Minister wants to react to one question.
Thank you for the opportunity to explain on some of the questions further. There was a question on the issue of so many promises made by Nigeria and also the signing of so many treaties, but nothing is happening. I think we must appreciate that within 2 years, Nigeria has done a lot more than in previous years, and that is why earlier on I told you that the water coverage has moved from 58% to 65%. And this is because we are conscious of the fact that we have signed these treaties. I also reported in my presentation that outside of the normal budget, Mr. President made special funds available, special intervention for us to complete on some of the projects. Again, this is because he's conscious of some of the commitments that we have done. The Presidential Summit was also on the sourcing of alternative funding for the water sector. This is because development of water infrastructure is quite expensive and line budget alone cannot do it, and government cannot continue to provide intervention funds. So we have to look for private sector participation and also increase investment by the international development partners. On the issue of transfer of technology, all the dams that are under construction have our engineers working on them, and they have regular review meetings on the design, they have regular trainings, but the MDG dams, because they are smaller, are left to Nigerian contractors to construct. Somebody also talked about the issue of why we should not give water free. It is not possible for water, potable water, to be free. First, you have to build the reservoirs where you don't have streams that have enough water for you to use. You have to build treatment plants. All this costs money. When you have the treatment plants, you also have to use chemicals apart from the professionals that you would use there, that you have to pay them money. You also have to reticulate the water to homes. And all of this costs a lot of money. So it's not possible to provide water free. You need to also maintain the facilities over a long period of time, because if you don't maintain them, they will break down. I give you an example. In 2008 to 2011, the Plateau State government undertook the rehabilitation of their dams and treatment plants. But just when they finished that work and were ready to release water to the public, they discovered that most of the pipes were already rusted because they have been on the ground for more than 70 years, and that required that they have to undertake a complete reticulation of the entire water system. The state government had to commit about 8 billion naira to do that. This is to show you that it's so expensive to process and distribute water, and that is why we have to be responsible and pay our water bills. The farmer raised the issue of preservation of their excess crops. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture is working on setting up a value chain, and this is to improve the value of the crops that are being produced. I know that they are also working on buying up some of the products from the farmers. It's a process that is ongoing, and we would want to refer the farmer to the Ministry of Agriculture, but we would also talk to the ministry to know exactly where they are so that we can advise you appropriately. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, We thank both ministers for giving us answers to the questions raised. So may I now invite the Honorable Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mafu, to come and give the concluding remarks. Honorable Minister of Information.
Before we make the concluding remarks, because today is a practical session, and we were told that Nasini has manufactured or designed and manufactured a new motorcycle, which has been brought to this platform. I thought it was important because when we talk, we want to see. I said they should move in the motorcycle here, and I want to ride it and let Nigerians see that what we are doing is practical, it's not theory. So they have brought it right down there, and I want to see whether I can still ride Okada. Various areas of our needs. So we want to really congratulate you. So we saw the motorcycle here. The motorcycle is not the only thing we are producing in Nigeria. Because of the policies of this government in promoting technological development, when we went to Nnewi during the National Good Governance Law, we went to Innoson Model Manufacturing Plant at Nnewi. Now let me tell you that they have already commercialized production. They have commercialized production, and today Innoson is supplying buses to NTA, buses to the Office of Head of Service, buses to different government agencies. Because the president said, anybody wanting to make a purchase of a new vehicle, tell us that we can't get it through Innocent and Innewi. Once they can produce it, then we must procure from them. Today, Innocent has more patronage from the government of Nigeria because of the present policy of buying made in Nigeria before we go out. Last month they told us that those designed a new bus of better grade, which is already in the market. So you can see that a lot of things are happening. Also, when we went to Innocent Technical at close to you, we saw a new plant manufacturing virtually every plastic product you see in Nigeria. They can manufacture them, and they already export it to South Africa and other countries. So a lot of things are happening in the economy. If you will wait until the day the Minister of Trade and Investment will come, you will see exactly what is going on. When we went to Calabar Export Processing Zone, we saw a number of products going on here, designed and manufactured by Nigerians. Transformers, all sorts of electronic products produced there. When we went to Port Harcourt, we also saw at the Port Harcourt Export Processing Zone, at only Export Processing Zone, there are more than 56 new products going on in that place, with thousands of Nigerians employed designing and manufacturing new products, including boats. We saw some of those boats in Delta, where the government bought close to 300 of them for water transportation, purchased from Port Harcourt, not brought in from Taiwan or China or Brazil, but right here in our country. So the government has a comprehensive policy in supporting science and technology, in supporting private investors to manufacture in Nigeria. That's why when we say the economy is growing, we say so because it is true, and we are seeing a number of products being made. The only appeal I will make to Nigerians, let us patronize things that are made in our country. That is what is needed. If we turn inwards, it is quite possible for us to promote these products and take them to the highest standards. That is what Mr. President has tried to do by eating cassava bread here. There's no, anywhere you go in the villa, the only rice you get there is of other rice. That is rice that is grown by the Nigerian farmers. So this attitude must be, invite all Nigerians. Somebody asked me the question, what is the Ministry of Information doing to promote some of these products and make sure that Nigerians are aware of them? One, we have designed Bassey or Libri or any of the scientific agencies, come and speak on them for 30 minutes. I like what you have done. We have that program going on through Radio Nigeria. Also, NTA has programs that you can come directly. We design them to enable you to speak out. You will talk to people. So those programs are free. You can come speak on them, the chief executive of these agencies, to tell us the new grounds we have broken, so that the Nigerian investors and also investors from abroad can take advantage of the opportunities. So we are working in tandem with my colleagues. You have this program, they are ongoing, the platforms are free. Please come out and utilize them. Finally, let me, in concluding this session, invite my family secretary to join me on the platform. Now, I would like to say that when you see things working, the work we work there is a strong team. If you look at the ministerial platform this year, we have increased the tempo, both in terms of the utilization of social media, in terms of showing graphic pictures of the things we are doing to all Nigerians at home and abroad. And if you're running flawlessly, because you know with partnership things are possible. Now I would like to very sincerely call on all of us to stand up, because there's special reason to not only give my colleague in the ministry, Mrs. Ajoli, you know, would you say Bubusa, for her partnership and contribution, and also for her 35 years of distinguished service in this nation which ends today. And also she plus 60 years today.
would also want to appreciate the outgoing council.
Thank you very much, honorable ministers, honorable governors, and MPs, and distinguished guests. Well, all the staff in the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, the Permanent Secretary, and myself, and we have into the anointing that has kept you for this 60 years. It's not by accident that you are part of the presentation for us today, and so we don't want you to just go like that. We want to connect with you, because all the civil servants in the ministry want to also attain this age and retire peacefully. So we have
my minister we have our ways of carrying our practice. Honorable Minister, dear President, my colleagues, Permanent Secretaries, Chief Executive Officers, all the various participants of two ministries here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is once again with very sincere pleasure that I present the vote of thanks at the end of today's presentation in the 7th session of Recognition of Achievement by MPA. It is following consistently that agrees that the sessions are getting more vibrant and indeed engaging, and the quantum of income tweets and retweets bear further credence to this fact. It is an established fact that the largest consequence of the human makeup is water, and that all living beings must have access to adequate and healthy supply of water also viable. Much as this is well known, the irony is that we consistently in the past treat our water resources with levity and disdain. Today, we have a distinguished woman with a strong will in the person of Mrs. Sarah Ochekpe, driving that sector which impacts on all human activities. The great job being done, madam, we say being thank you. In the same vein, let it be noted that the dramatic changes in the status of man, great weddings, inventions of different appliances, and the trip to the moon is as a result of man's creative thinking and application. Professor Peter Okon, driving the sector with the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, attests from his report today that ministry is poised to ensure that Nigeria occupies and maintains that space among nations that are revolutionizing human activities, methods, and the environment. Kudos to you, honorable minister. This initiative, and the Honorable Minister of Information, Nigeria, Lateral Matters, and one who remains the essential catalyst for the success of the 2030 Ministerial Platform. To my colleagues, the Permanent Secretaries of the two ministries, CEOs, directors, and all the staff who have provided the leadership, the excellent presentations made today, while thanking you and imploring you to remain steadfast, loyal, and forward-thinking that our nation may be the best in the world. Similarly, large turnout today, stakeholders, civil society, and private sector organizations, media reporters, in both the electronic and print media, and the host of Nigerians at home and in the diaspora who are following by social media platforms, undoubtedly an expression of love and symptomatic of belief in a rising that each of you will be permanent secretary.
Thank you. May the good Lord continue to bless you in retirement. We are going to miss you, but there is nothing we can do. So we wish you the very best. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this platform for today. Tomorrow we are having about 4 MDAs. Same time, same place. You are all cordially invited. So may we all now rise for the national anthem.